Hello everybody, my name is Naya and I'm the Black female engineer, and I provide content for new and aspiring software engineers. And today we're going to be talking about reasons to go to a coding bootcamp in 2021. Now, this is a follow-up to my previous video of reasons to not go to a coding bootcamp in 2021, where I was brutally honest with things. So if you want to check that out and I'll link it above. But now, to give you the whole picture, this is why to go to bootcamp in 2021. So let's get to it. So reason number one, the first reason you should go to coding bootcamp specifically in 2021 is because interest rates are at a record low right now. Now, why am I talking about interest rates? Well, coding bootcamps are expensive. One of the reasons in my last video why I said you shouldn't go. But if you need to take out a loan to cover, the $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 cost to the bootcamp, well, you're in luck because interest rates are very low. And so you'd be able to get a loan for, not much hassle, and that is not very, expensive. And so, of course, things, contribute to the rate you'll get, such as your own credit score. But in general, if you have a good credit score and, is depending on the length of the loan and everything, interest rates really won't look too bad for you as opposed to other time periods. Reason number two, you should go to a coding bootcamp now because it is virtual. Now, this, depending on who you are, this could be good, this could be bad. For me, it was so good because I was able to go to a coding bootcamp that wasn't in the city that I lived in. If everything was in person and all normal, it would have been very difficult for me to commit to that lifestyle because it would have required me to get up at 8 a.m., drive an hour down to the city the coding bootcamp was in, spend the entire day, and get back at around 8 p.m., if not later. But because things were virtual, I was able to do everything from the comfort of my bed. And when I say my bed, I quite literally mean my bed. I was one of the bad students who wouldn't even get up from my bed and go to a separate table or desk or anything. People, when when we were in classes and everything, they would see my headboard right behind me. Different strokes, it's okay. But it is so much easier for me, or it was so much easier for me to commit to a bootcamp because I didn't need to make that journey every single day. And so if that's the case for you, that's really a reason why bootcamp would be great now. Now, some of y'all may be thinking, okay, well, I could choose, the online version, instead of the in-person version, because the online version of coding bootcamp, for most coding bootcamps, is self-paced. It's often designed for people who, have demanding jobs or, can't go to the city they're in or prefer a more autonomy over what they do day by day. However, I wanted an in-person experience because I felt that I'd be more held accountable that way, and I liked being able to ask live questions to my instructors and really get those live updates, which you can't with my understanding. I don't know. I never did the online version, but yeah, it was less so with the online. Now, this is confusing because we were in a parallelogram. So what was online and what was in person, they were both, I don't like to say they were both online. I say one was an online, which was, the self-paced, more type experience, and one was virtual in person. And so I chose the virtual in person, which would have been the regular in person if we weren't in this whole Panera Bread. So just something to think about, if you're in a city that it would be hard for you to take that daily trip, or your family situation is a way that it's better for you to stay at home rather than go somewhere and all of that. It's virtual right now, so that could be a very good thing if you let it. Now, the next reason to go to a coding bootcamp is because you are the person who prefers an actual learning roadmap when it comes to learning new skills or, transitioning into a certain life. You prefer having an actual roadmap. Now, I'm not saying you prefer to have an actual roadmap and, teaching is the only way, you get that. But I'm saying if you are, this is the reason to go to a coding bootcamp. This was my situation. I started out learning with Codecademy and Udemy courses. However, because I am a person who needs to, one, be held accountable by some larger figure, either a teacher or an administrator or anything like that, and because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that, the next step to learning JavaScript is to learn, if statements. Then after you learn if statements, you learn try catch, then you go to Ruby. Like, I didn't know what the sequence should be. And so because of that, I needed a teacher. I needed somebody in authority who created an actual curriculum to guide me. Some people are able to create their own curriculums through, Codecademy and through Udemy and YouTube tutorials. And there are just so many different resources out there for you to transition to software engineering without spending loads of money. There are. And please, before, this is an asterisk, before you decide to go to coding bootcamp, please try out those things first so you can really understand why you are going to a bootcamp and what you're really hoping to get out of it. Because again, that's so much money, y'all. That's so much money. But if you are like me, who did these free things and then got stuck because you didn't know what the next step is, but you also aren't trying to, get a whole master's or a whole another bachelor's degree and all of that, going to a coding bootcamp may be the right path for you, because again, it's quick, relatively, quick. When we're talking about whole career shifts, it's quick. Then yeah, that would be a great reason for you to go to a coding bootcamp. And lastly, the reason you should go to a coding bootcamp is because, depending on the bootcamp, in my bootcamp this was the case, you have the opportunity to get all of your money back if you don't get a job after you finish your bootcamp. I don't know how many bootcamps do this. I went to Flatiron School and that was the case for me. And so for me, I was like, what's there to lose? Either I get a job or I get a refund. To me, it was very low risk. And so that could be a great way for you to become a software engineer through a coding bootcamp, because it's 2021 and people are broke up in here. People are broke, people are struggling, and if we can get that assurance, that is great. That would be great. And so again, not all boot camps offer this, clause if you decide to sign up with them, but I personally recommend looking for ones that do, because then it just made the decision much easier for me and made me feel like I really wasn't risking much. Now, this is, like a whole other asterisk. Look into the things you need to do to ensure that refund. So, here's the thing. So a bootcamp says 100% money back if you don't get a job in 3 months. Let's say that is what they say. When you read the fine print, this is the case for me. When you read the fine print of that statement, you get a whole laundry list of things that you must do between, finishing coding bootcamp, during coding bootcamp, and up to 3 months after completing your bootcamp. You need to be able to have done all of these things. And if you haven't done all of these things, which included contact, people on LinkedIn 3 times a day, write 2 blog posts a month, all of these different things. If you don't do just one of them, there goes your refund. There it goes. So make sure that the things, when you read the fine print of whatever bootcamp that is stating these things, make sure that they're things that really do seem actually possible and plausible for you specifically to do. Because yeah, if you're going on this path because you feel like it's risk-free, but then you end up not getting the refund, and now you're unemployed for a year, and you still don't, you don't have a job, you have this $15,000 in debt, and you're not getting this refund, then that, I'd say, was not a great choice for you. And so make sure you read that fine print and see exactly what they list out, the things you need to do in order to get that refund. So, but the reason they state these things out is because to them, they say, well, you know what, if you do all of these things, then you will get a job. And so, that's why we list those things out. So it's not like it's not bad, but make sure for you specifically, it's something that every single thing on that list would be plausible for you. So there we have it, everybody. The reasons you should go to a coding bootcamp in 2021. But please put any questions you have down below, and I'll try to answer them either through the comments or through making an actual video. And please don't forget to subscribe. I'm so happy every time I see somebody subscribe and somebody interacting in this community. It makes me very, very happy. So please subscribe and choose to join this community. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.